Hey guys, this is Lever Maniac, and I'm going to drop today my Serenity deck profile. Sorry for you guys to have been waiting so long, but it was a little bit of stress and problems these days, especially in terms of time, so I had to wait for this day to do it. Now, what can I say about this specific character? First of all, of course, she's the sister of Joey Wheeler, which, if I'm correct, it was stuck into the cyberspace along with her brother and with his other companions, of course. So as a result of that, she had to take part into the duels of the virtual world arc. And to go further, she wasn't not unexperienced duelist, but furthermore, she was a duelist that did not even take part at all at any duel. She just knew some theatrical fundamental lines of the Duel Monsters game, but she did not actually herself take part into a duel at all. To make a long story short, we are going to begin. She had to have the assistance of Duke, Devlin, and Tristan Taylor, of course, who instructed her before, as she, during the Battle City arc, couldn't see. She was blind, as a matter of fact, and Joey Wheeler took part into the first saga of the Duelist Kingdom in order to get her the prize money for her operation, so that she can see again. And that time, Tristan Taylor, who of course is one of the companions of Yugi and Joey, cared a lot about her, and as a matter of fact, basically introduced her into the dual world. So she knew the ground lines from him, but still she possibly forget one or another of the rules, so she basically had to be instructed while playing it, which is very embarrassing on the one hand, but also very catastrophic and fatal on the other one, as your body, your soul, and your life in general could be at stake were at stake at these very duels. Now, like I said, she had to collect her cards from the data bank, which were right in front of her, and she had a little bit of advice of Tristan and Duke. She had to even to ask how to collect cards, and I don't know who said it. I mean, maybe it was Tristan, but I'm not sure about that one. That he told her that her deck must be very balanced out in order, and due to the purpose that she needed magic, trap cards, and monster cards, and a good mixture. So the first monster card, and of course at the same time her deck master, which I did forget to mention in the other earlier character deck profiles. I think in the first one I stated it, that Kaiba had this deep sea horse, and I think the Lord of Dragon, and Yugi had Kuribo once, and the other time was a dark magician. And on the other deck profiles to go further, Joey had always a Flame Swordsman as deck master. And last but not least, I think, did I forget about Duke? Of course, Duke had the Strike Ninja after my stance. Yeah, he had a Strike Ninja. Now, and Serenity got this very card, the Goddess with Third Eye, as a deck master. We'll put it on there. Its effect is to, she can, I think, use this card as a fusion material monster for a fusion monster, or a substitute for one of the fusion materials monster, which I listed on the fusion monster. Then to go further, Princess of Tsurugi. This one she didn't play out, but I think as a female on the one hand, and as the other hand with a female, with an not that bad effect. I think it fits very good into the arc. Your opponent loses 500 life points for each spell and trap card that he possesses. Then, to go further, Heishingen. This was another card that she didn't possess, but she had very many fairy type monsters, so it's very this card does of course fit to this deck as well. Then Witch Pupil, I think this card especially was in her deck list listed, which if you do a little bit of research on the purpose that you conclude all the deck cards in general in order to conclude the deck and all. Marry the Fallen One. This was a card which she played out and fused, I think, then with one of the monster cards which I will be talking about later, in order to get the Holy Johann. Then I think the Awful Goddess is called in English. I'm not sure. I think it's something like that. She had that card. I think she engaged that even in Bell, and she fused Marry the Fallen One with that very monster that I'm now adding, namely the Forgiven Maiden, in order to get, of course, a Holy Johann. Then some cards which are, of course, still appropriate. Soul of Pureness and Light. From the artwork, it looks a little bit like an angel catching a man or hugging a man. So it's also a fairy type monster, so it's very appropriate to that deck. And as Serenity played out Joanne, which was an angel, of course, which looked a little bit like angel with the wings. It might be very appropriate to that deck, of course. Then, of course, as I said, another fairy type monster, which is Dancing Fairy, that she had not in her deck, neither in her deck nor in the deck list, but I added it anyway. Then Dream Spirit. I think this was a card which was played out by Lecter in later decks, but I'm not sure whether she had this card. I looked upon the deck list, but I'm not certain anymore whether she had it, because it was a little bit time ago. Then, of course, a Witch of Black Forest, which she also played out, and as it was destroyed, she got another card into her hand. Spirit Breeze, also a fairy type monster, which is also appropriate to the deck. Then Panther Lady, or Lady Panther, which she of course did play out too, but yeah, she had it and she engaged that into Bell, so yeah. To go further, I put in there, instead of not instead, but added it also to plus her angel Joanne was the guardian Joanne. This might be very appropriate, as I thought it might very be logical that she had another possibility to summon a high level monster other than fusing it. Then Queen's Double, which fits very good into that into that deck, as well as the Unhappy Maiden. I think that one she played even out, or at least was shown in her hand. Then I also put in there the Unhappy Girl, which is I think was listed in her deck list. And then I put in there a couple of fillers which she did not have, but either fairy type monsters or fit into the deck in terms of artwork, and in the issue of she being a girl playing a lot of female character monsters, like Biomagician, I don't know how it's called in English. I think Healing Mermaid might be appropriate as a translation. Then an Elf Guardian, I think it's called. Throne of the Obeying Angel, Banner of Light, Banisher of Light, and the Red Archery Girl. Now, to make a long story short, my god, my mind is crumbling today, guys. My concentration is like thrown out of the window. Yeah. Now onto her spells. I put in there a fissure as a good staple. Assaults of Revealing Light, which I think she might have even played out. A Nobleman of Crossout. I don't know how it's called. Come on. Horn of Heaven is Horn of Light. An Escaping Sky. I think this is a field spell card for fairy type monsters. And of course, the Supreme Court as a staple monster reborn. Core of the Holy Places. A Graceful Charity, which she I think even played out. A Mystical Space Typhoon. Another fissure. A Rain of Mercy, a D-Spell, and a Dark Hole. Now, you cannot expect a deck like this to be that powerful, as it is an issue that she was a very bad beginner. You have to tell, and still she succeeded in beating off the enemy, which was of course Nezbitt. Then onto her trap cards. Horn of Heaven, which I had mistaken this card, it was badly mistaken it for someone else, namely the Horn of Light. Then of course Mirror Force, Gift of the Mystical Elf, Godly Healer 3 times, as was I think in her deck as well as the Tia Gardner's deck. Engine, an important engine to increase her life points. Deal of the Phantom, Solomon Wishes, and Bad Reaction to Smoochie. Now this card was shown in her hand, for example. as well as, I don't know, I think it was in the deck list, world suppression, as well as the 2 times I put in there Waboku. 1 as a staple, 1 trap hole, and then luring light, which I think might fit into that deck. And last but not least, a ceasefire, which I put in there, thought might be appropriate into this deck. Now guys, I hope you guys liked and enjoyed. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more content, as I will be going up the ranks, as I already mentioned in many of my YouTube videos that cope with building character decks, of course. Yeah, it makes me very glad to have you guys here. And of course, I think now the Tristan character deck will come next, as I wasn't able to finish his deck because I hadn't because I was lacking a couple of cards. I think just 2 or 3 cards from him, which were shown in his deck list or in his hand during the duel, such as Sengenjin. What was the other one called? The Dharma Cannon. And last but not least, well, I don't know about the third one. I might be having the other ones. It was a third. Yeah, but still, I will, if I have these cards on me, I will then drop this character deck profile as well. I think it will be this week. If I was not able to gather it until now, or gather the deck completely until then, maybe I will refer to another deck, which is my Valentine's deck, which I'm lacking just 1 card, which is Breath of Light. That is, I'm sorry guys, too expensive for me to get. I think it's about 50, 60 or even 70 euros at card market, so yeah. You might just imagine that she had it, and I will be mentioning it then, of course, later on again. Well, as I said, make a long story short, stay tuned, and of course I will be now opening a couple of collection, or growing my collection video, which is just messages and shown, and cards that I did buy, which now were delivered, and as a result of that, I will opening them by now in another video coming up directly after that. So if I'm uploading this video, I will be uploading the other one as well. Now then, see you next days. Good evening guys, your Slifer Maniac. Bye.